Imagine waking up tomorrow and everything around you is pure, shimmering gold. Your bed, your phone, the streets, the trees, all gold. Sounds like a dream come true, right? Like you've hit the ultimate jackpot. Well, think again. You'd probably be dead within a week. A world made entirely of gold wouldn't just be inconvenient. It would be a catastrophic nightmare. Today, we're exploring what would actually happen if every atom on Earth suddenly transformed into gold. Why would this glittering paradise become humanity? Its worst nightmare faster than you can say Midas touch. The answer involves collapsing buildings, people being crushed under their own weight, and a sun that would literally cook you alive. This isn't just about economics. It's about the laws of physics turning against us in the most spectacular way possible. Stick around to find out why getting everything you wish for might be the last thing you ever want. What if, in the blink of an eye, every single atom on Earth that wasn't already gold suddenly became gold? The air, the water, your breakfast, your phone, ... And you. It sounds like a Midas dream come true, but in reality, it would be the most catastrophic event in our planet's history. Let's set the stage. It's a normal morning. Then, snap. Everything transforms. Before we even get to what happens to you, let's talk about the planet itself. Earth is about to have a very, very bad day. You see, gold is incredibly heavy. It's one of the densest elements we know. A cubic foot of gold weighs about half a ton. For comparison, a cubic foot of rock is only about 170 pounds. So, when you instantly replace all the lighter materials that make up our planet with something 6 to 20 times heavier, the Earth's mass skyrockets. That's like adding the weight of several extra Earths out of nowhere. You might think, okay, so the planet is heavier. So what? Well, this is where physics gets absolutely wild. Mass dictates gravity. More mass means more gravity. But before you even have a chance to feel crushed by the increased weight, something else happens first. The planet itself starts to collapse. Think about it. Every building on Earth is engineered to hold up a specific amount of weight. Concrete, steel, glass, all of it is carefully calculated. But when you transform those materials into gold, which is way denser, every structure becomes impossibly heavy. Skyscrapers would pancake straight down, their lower floors instantly crushed. Bridges. The Golden Gate Bridge would live up to its name for about half a second before collapsing into the bay. Every bridge, every overpass, all of them would fail at the same time. But this isn't just about human structures. What about mountains? They exist in a delicate balance, held up by the strength of their rock. But when you turn that rock into gold, you get a material that's actually softer than stone. Gold is malleable. It bends and deforms under pressure. The golden Himalayas would start to slump like a melting ice cream cone. Mount Everest would literally start squishing down under its own immense weight. We're talking geological features that have stood for millions of years, collapsing in mere hours. The ground beneath your feet would become a shifting, rumbling nightmare. Soil, sand, and rock, all turned to gold. The Earth would be so heavy it would start compacting itself with unimaginable force, opening up giant sinkholes as underground caverns collapse. And now, for the big question. What happens to you? Your body is about 60% water. You have calcium in your bones, iron in your blood, and carbon in your cells. Now, turn all of that into gold. Instantly, you are a solid gold statue. Congratulations. You're now worth millions, but there's no one left to cash in, because you're also, well, not alive. Your heart can't pump. It's solid gold. Your lungs can't expand. Your brain. Every thought, every memory, frozen forever in metallic gold. You wouldn't even have time to realize what was happening. One moment you exist, the next you're a very expensive paperweight. This isn't just you, either. The entire biosphere, instantly transformed into a silent, golden graveyard. Let's imagine you somehow survived, maybe in a magic suit that protected you. You're the last organic thing on a solid gold planet. Can you make it? Not a chance. The air around you is now a vacuum of solid gold particles. There's nothing to breathe. The temperature would be extreme. either freezing cold or scorching hot, as gold conducts heat incredibly well. And finally, the orbit. An Earth that is suddenly 3 or 4 times more massive would have its orbit around the sun drastically altered. The new, stronger gravitational pull would yank the moon closer, potentially causing it to break apart and form a ring of golden debris around our planet. Earth itself might get pulled into a new, unstable orbit, possibly spiraling closer to the sun or getting ejected from the solar system entirely. So, the ultimate Midas touch wouldn't bring wealth. It would bring a silent, swift, and complete end to everything we know. It's a spectacular way to go, but maybe let's stick with a regular old rock, air, and water for now. Let's break down this golden apocalypse. First, the atmospheric nightmare. The air you're breathing right now, about 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen. In our new golden world, that entire atmosphere is gone. All those air molecules have transformed into tiny particles of gold dust. They would instantly rain down, blanketing the surface in a shimmering, deadly layer. You're now standing in a vacuum. You wouldn't even have time to register the lack of air before you suffocated. But let's say you had an oxygen tank. Bad news. It gets worse. Earth's atmosphere is our planetary shield. It blocks deadly UV and cosmic radiation from the sun and regulates our temperature. Without it, the side of the planet facing the sun would instantly cook to over 250 degrees Fahrenheit, the dark side. It would plummet to a bone-chilling minus 250 degrees. You'd be simultaneously baked and frozen. There'd be no wind, no clouds, no weather, just a silent, golden, deadly stillness. And there's more. Gold is much denser than the rock and metal our planet is made of. By turning Earth into solid gold, we've just increased its mass by about 3 or 4 times. This means gravity gets a massive boost. If you weigh 150 pounds right now, you'd suddenly feel like you weigh 600 pounds. Your bones would fracture under your own weight. Your heart wouldn't be strong enough to pump blood against that intense gravitational pull. Your own body would literally crush itself. Now, let's zoom out to the cosmic consequences. A heavier Earth means a stronger gravitational pull on everything around it, starting with the moon. Our moon would be pulled with 3 to 4 times the force, destabilizing its orbit. It would begin to spiral inwards, closer and closer, until it collides with Earth in a spectacular cosmic catastrophe you'd never live to see. Our own orbit around the sun would change, too. A more massive Earth moves differently. We could drift farther away, turning into a frozen golden wasteland, or get pulled closer, becoming a molten golden inferno. This would also affect our neighbors. Earth's new supergravity could tug on Mars and Venus, creating a domino effect of orbital chaos throughout the inner solar system. We wouldn't just be destroying our planet, we'd be vandalizing our entire cosmic neighborhood. And here's the beautiful, tragic irony in all of this. Gold is valuable only because it's rare. In all of human history, we've only mined enough gold to fill about 3 Olympic-sized swimming pools. That scarcity is what gives it value. But in a world where everything is gold, it becomes completely worthless. If you could somehow survive this golden nightmare, surrounded by infinite wealth, you would trade it all for a single breath of fresh air, a single drop of water, or a single bite of food. It's the ultimate lesson in what truly matters. We chase wealth and status, but in the end, the most precious things are the ones we take for granted every day. Air, water, and a planet that isn't actively trying to kill us. It's like the myth of King Midas, who was starving in a palace of gold. A world made of gold isn't a dream. It's a curse on a planetary scale. Let's get a bit more into the science of why this golden world is so catastrophic, because it's genuinely fascinating how many different ways physics would turn against us. First, let's talk about heat conduction. Gold is an excellent conductor of heat. That's why it's used in electronics and spacecraft. But when your entire planet is made of gold, that excellent heat conduction becomes a nightmare. During the day, the sun's heat would be conducted deep into the golden ground beneath you, making the surface scorching hot almost instantly. There'd be no insulation, no layers of different materials to slow the heat transfer. The whole golden landscape would become an oven. At night, that same conductivity would work in reverse. Heat would radiate away into space, incredibly quickly. The temperature would plummet, with no atmosphere to trap warmth and no diverse materials to hold heat. You'd have rapid, extreme temperature swings that would make survival impossible. Then there's electrical conductivity. Gold conducts electricity extremely well. Any electrical charge in the atmosphere, well, there is no atmosphere. Still, if there were lightning or any electrical phenomena, it would instantly conduct through the entire golden surface of the planet. The whole Earth would essentially become one giant, world-sized conductor. And let's not forget about chemistry. Life, as we know it, is based on chemical reactions. Carbon bonds with other elements, we exchange oxygen, we break down nutrients. Gold doesn't really react with anything. It's chemically inert, that's why it doesn't tarnish or corrode. But that also means no chemistry. No reactions means no metabolism, no digestion, no cellular processes. Even if you somehow existed as a biological being in this world, there'd be no chemical foundation for life to operate on. So, let's bring this all together. We started with what seemed like a fantasy. A world made entirely of gold, unlimited wealth, infinite reaches, everything you could ever want. But we've discovered that this golden world would actually be a planet collapsing under its own increased weight. Mountains would crumble, buildings would pancake, and the very ground would compact beneath you. Every living thing would be transformed into a lifeless gold statue. There would be no atmosphere, no air to breathe. You'd face deadly temperature extremes with no protection, and crushing gravity would make any movement impossible. The planet's orbit would destabilize, threatening the entire solar system. And the ultimate irony, you'd have infinite gold that's completely worthless. This thought experiment teaches us something profound. Value isn't intrinsic. Gold is only valuable in a world where it is rare and where we have the context to appreciate it. More importantly, the things we often take for granted. Breathable air, drinkable water, stable ground beneath our feet. A planet that supports life. These are infinitely more valuable than any amount of gold could ever be. We live on a planet with incredible diversity. 180 known elements, combining in endless ways to create everything from ocean water to mountain peaks, from your morning coffee to the device you're watching this on. That diversity isn't just beautiful, it's essential for life. So the next time you think about what you'd wish for if you could have anything, remember the lesson of King Midas. Remember our golden nightmare world, and maybe, just maybe, appreciate the perfectly balanced, incredibly complex, wonderfully diverse planet we actually have. Because Earth, with all its problems and imperfections, is worth infinitely more than a world made of pure gold. And if you enjoyed this journey into one of the most fascinating what-if scenarios in science, hit that subscribe button, and let me know in the comments, what other impossible scenarios should we explore? What would happen if Earth was made of diamond, or water, or pure iron? The universe of thought experiments is endless, and trust me, we're just getting started. Thanks for watching, and remember, not all that glitters is survivable.